Hello and welcome to Jamo Games channel. Today we present to you best upcoming PC games 2022 and beyond. Please click like button and subscribe for more videos. So let's begin. Warstride Challenges. Due out this April, Warstride Challenges is an upcoming FPS structured around score attacks and blazingly fast combat. In it, players speed their way through bloody gunfights across a series of increasingly intense trials to rank on the global leaderboards. To aid you, the game introduces fun mechanics like time slowdown, bunny hop speed boosts, corner slides, and destructive shockwaves. Warstride Challenges will give you the ability to challenge anyone online and race them async in the game's nemesis mode. Turbo Overkill. Turbo Overkill is an upcoming shooter that draws influence from retro FPS games like Dune, Duke Nukem, and Quake. Complete with neon-soaked cyberpunk visuals, it sees you playing as a half-metal, half-human bounty hunter named Johnny Turbo. Johnny is equipped with augmented body parts including hidden arm rockets and a chainsaw in his lower leg that come in hand during combat. The game is set to include 24 levels packed with secrets, bonus areas, and combat puzzles with additional content planned for post-launch. Starship Troopers Terran Command. The Starship Troopers movies are known for their campy writing and satirical take on classic science fiction, two things we're hoping to encounter in the upcoming Terran Command. In it, players are tasked with commanding the mobile infantry as they defend the Quilasha population from an encroaching alien species known as the Arachnids. For a licensed game, Terran Command's combat system is surprisingly robust and utilizes battle mechanics like true line-of-sight fire and terrain elevation for more tactical options. Additionally, players will be able to unlock a wide range of specialized units with unique abilities and weapons throughout the story campaign. The Day Before. The Day Before is an upcoming open-world MMO about trying to survive in a deadly post-pandemic United States overrun by flesh-hungry infected and untrustworthy survivors. After your character awakes with amnesia, they set out to uncover the truth while scavenging for resources to stay alive. You'll explore a beautiful world plunged into chaos and search abandoned vehicles, houses, and buildings looking for useful items and defending yourself from enemies. So far, the game looks surprisingly polished despite not having a confirmed release date, leaving us a bit skeptical as to whether the full game will be as consistent. DNF Duel. Next up is Dungeon and Fighter Duel, or DNF Duel, an upcoming fighting game developed in collaboration with S.T.A.L.K.E.R, Arc System Works, and Aiding Studio. The game is a spin-off to the Dungeon Fighter Online franchise and harnesses the MMO's wide selection of classes to create its roster. Gameplay-wise, battles are presented as 2v1v1 showdowns where characters compete using unique movesets. There's still no word on a release date, but a recent beta was met with positive reception regarding the game's combat, background designs, and animations. Gotham Knights. Best known for Batman Arkham Origins, developer WB Games Montreal is back with another game set in the DC universe. With the Caped Crusader supposedly dead, Gotham Knights shifts its focus to his super-powered protégés as they're called to defend Gotham City. Presented as a co-op-based action RPG for up to 4 players, the game sees you donning the mantle of Batgirl, Robin, Red Hood, and Nightwing with help from friends. A single-player mode will also be available, allowing one player to swap between the 4 characters throughout the campaign. Sons of the Forest. The Forest is an ambitious survival horror game that focuses on crafting and combat with surprisingly intelligent enemy AI. Like many survival games, the story is fairly non-linear, but there was always enough to chew on for players interested in learning about the game's creatures and setting. For the sequel, developer End Night Games looks to be expanding the universe with new characters and events revolving around yet another mysterious island. In addition to better graphics and more fluid combat, Sons of the Forest will be a more team-focused endeavor than the original, which added online multiplayer post-launch. S.T.A.L.K.E.R 2. The S.T.A.L.K.E.R games are known for getting nitty-gritty with their approach to post-apocalyptic open worlds. While they've always been reminiscent of series like Metro and even Fallout RPGs to some extent, the series kind of petered out after 3 releases. S.T.A.L.K.E.R 2 will see players venturing into the zone, an irradiated wasteland surrounding the Chernobyl nuclear disaster site. The area stands out for its high levels of radiation which causes scavengers to develop supernatural abilities. Hogwarts Legacy. Outside of movie tie-ins and the occasional mobile release, we haven't really seen many games explore the magical world of Harry Potter. That's set to change when Avalanche and Warner Bros. Upcoming open-world action RPG Hogwarts Legacy releases next year. Set during the late 1800s, it casts players as a new student at Hogwarts tasked with choosing their house and attending classes while exploring the school's mysterious grounds. Over time, they'll learn to cast different spells, brew potions, tame magical beasts, and battle enemies while navigating a morality system based on their actions. Fraymakers. Fraymakers is an upcoming crossover game that joins the ranks of 2D platform fighters inspired by Super Smash Bros. In it, players battle each other using a slew of fighters pulled from hit indie games like Octodad, Downwell, Rivals of Aether, and Slay the Spire. Each fighter has a dedicated moveset comprised of unique attacks and abilities for a total of 80+ different animations. Additionally, Fraymakers is set to include some sort of content creation tool that lets players craft and incorporate their own original content into the game. Occupy Mars the game. If you like your survival games to have highly technical gameplay systems, Occupy Mars might be right up your alley. The game sees you exploring the Red Planet in hopes of establishing a colony for future generations to inhabit. Your job is to build and upgrade your base, research nearby regions, gather resources, grow crops, generate oxygen, and much, much more. There's an emphasis on realism and simulation, but not to the point of being unforgiving. That said, expect plenty of deaths early on as you come to grips with life on Mars. Endless Dungeon. Although Amplitude is best known for a string of dedicated strategy games released under the Endless moniker, the studio's next project will expand into real-time action. In Endless Dungeon, players take on the role of shipwrecked heroes forced to fight their way through abandoned space stations while protecting a sacred crystal from monsters. Each character has a specialized kit of abilities, weapons, and tactics that can be combined with others to create new and exciting synergies. It's a delicious blend of MOBA, strategy, twin-stick shooter, and tower defense that has us looking forward to playing Endless Dungeon on PS5. Gundam Evolution. Gundam Evolution is an upcoming free-to-play FPS game in which players enter into battle using mobile suits from the hit anime. Matches are structured as 6v6 teams with objective-based challenges that rely on teamwork, accuracy, and mastery of your suit's abilities. Each mobile suit unit is embedded with unique characteristics such as weapons, movement techniques, and strategies for surviving and supporting your team. The game will implement a battle pass and cosmetic rewards that allow you to customize your pilot and suit. Dune Spice Wars. Adapting Dune into a strategy game seems like the only logical choice considering how focused a franchise is on warring factions, resource management, and diplomacy. If you're someone who agrees, then you're in luck, because such a game is currently in development and scheduled to release later this year. Dune Spice Wars is a tactical strategy RPG with 4X elements that comes courtesy of Shiro Games, the same studio behind Northgard, and will incorporate in it. Players will control factions such as Atreides and Harkonnen, and they stake their claim over spice, land, and other precious commodities. Metal Slug Tactics. The announcement of Metal Slug Tactics caught many by surprise, considering the franchise is exclusively known for its retro-run N-gun games. However, if the trailer is any indication, developer Leaker Studio has a bona fide hit on their hands that draws heavy inspiration from games like Final Fantasy Tactics and Fire Emblem. Additionally, the game will reportedly include some roguelike elements that are sure to keep gameplay and progression feeling fresh and exciting. While we've yet to see just how well Metal Slug meshes with tactical RPG gameplay, we're willing to take the risk and find out when it releases later this year. Project Eve. Reminiscent of stylish action games like Bayonetta and Devil May Cry, Project Eve is an upcoming game about a survivor who must fight unknown creatures on a post-apocalyptic Earth. Combat is modeled after combo-heavy action games and sees Eve taking down enemies using a combination of spectacular attacks, parries, and dodge maneuvers with her blade in tow. The game will also focus on platforming sections that force Eve to master the terrain by scaling walls, sliding tactically around enemies, swinging from ropes, and much more. Project Eve will take advantage of the DualSense controller's built-in haptic feedback on PS5, but is also expected to release on Xbox consoles and PC. Roller Champions. Ubisoft is set to release their upcoming free-to-play multiplayer sports game Roller Champions later this year. The game is best described as roller derby with a splash of Rocket League and a cartoony visuals reminiscent of games like Fortnite. Matches see teams competing to maintain control over a ball and land shots in a wall-mounted hoop while passing, tackling, and performing stylish tricks. As players win matches, they'll boost their reputation and earn fans as well as unlock new stylish gear for their character. Hollow Knight Silksong. While Silksong will retain many of Hollow Knight's core Metroidvania elements, it will be using them in slightly different ways. For one, players will be controlling Hornet, a curious bug-like creature who uses a needle to fight. At the start of the game, Hornet gets captured and taken to an unknown haunted kingdom. Players will have to escape the kingdom by making their way upwards instead of downwards like in the first game, encountering over 150 new creatures along the way. Atomic Heart. Originally planned to release in 2018 and then later 2019, Atomic Heart has had one of the more interesting development stories, with rumors suggesting it may not even be the same game anymore. Categorized as a first-person shooter with RPG elements, the game is well into the process of development at Studio Mundfish, a Russian-based indie game studio. Evoking memories of sci-fi staples like BioShock and Fallout, Atomic Heart takes place in an alternate reality where the Soviet Union's research has led to a technical revolution. Players assume control of a Soviet KGB officer tasked with infiltrating a secret facility that's gone radio silent. Slime Rancher 2. Indie game studio Monami Park is currently working on a sequel to the bright and bubbly farming sim Slime Rancher. Continuing with the adventures of Beatrix LeBeau, Slime Rancher 2 sees you venturing to Rainbow Island, a new world brimming with ancient mysteries and exotic wildlife. Armed with an arsenal of slime wrangling tools, you'll collect and breed an assortment of unique slime creatures with distinct traits and personalities. Once you get a hang of the game's plort-based economy, you'll be able to flip resources for Nubix and spend them on ranch upgrades and new gadgets. Palworld. Towing the line between weird and genuinely exciting, Palworld is an upcoming open-world game from S.T.A.L.K.E.R Games, best known for Craftopia. It puts its own spin on the survival crafting genre by throwing in Pokémon-inspired creature collecting, with various pals for you to tame. Monsters you collect have special powers that can come in hand during battles, farming, building, fishing, and more. While it's a bit jarring to see such adorable creatures appear alongside shotguns, assault rifles, and rocket launchers, there's something so interesting about Palworld's concept. Crimson Desert. Crimson Desert is an upcoming open-world game that comes from developer-publisher Pearly Abyss, the same studio behind hit MMORPG Black Desert. Originally, the game was meant to be a prequel to Black Desert, but was ultimately scrapped and rebooted as a standalone experience set in a medieval fantasy world. In it, players take on the role of a mercenary traversing a war-ravaged world, where they'll have to complete quests and recruit other mercenaries to join them in battle. The extra help will definitely come in hand, seeing as the game will reportedly feature harsh weather conditions across its open-world regions. V-Rising. Anyone holding out for Vampire the Masquerade 2 can now also add V-Rising to their calendar of upcoming vampire game releases. In it, you take on the role of an awakened vampire who's been asleep for hundreds of years but rises once again to seize their rightful place at the throne. To survive, players will have to raid nearby settlements for food and other resources, as well as rebuild their castle and convert humans into loyal servants. It's all depicted in a unique and stylized aesthetic that benefits from online multiplayer support that you can check out early by signing up for an upcoming beta. Ixion. Ixion is an ambitious-looking game that looks to combine city building, survival elements, and unbridled exploration in one thrilling space opera package. In it, you take control of the administrator of the Tikkun space station as they're entrusted with finding a new home for humanity. Looking to the stars, players will have to keep the station in working order while traveling across the galaxy searching for new resources and habitable planets. Throughout your journey, you'll come across random in-game events that will force you to adapt, as well as encounter other survivors willing to aid you in your mission. Wild West Dynasty. Reminiscent of cowboy games like Red Dead Redemption 2 with a survival management sim twist, Wild West Dynasty is definitely worth keeping on your radar. In it, players are tasked with building their own ranch while surviving any obstacle the Old West throws their way. The game includes a dedicated story mode with hundreds of missions to tackle, as well as customizable town building and even a horse you can ride. While further details are scarce at the moment, we can count on developer Virtual Magic to provide more information early next year. Thanks guys for watching our video. Clicking a like button is the best way you can help us to show your appreciation. We'd really be grateful for that. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more videos. We'll see you guys next time.